Good morning, and welcome to Wildflower Garden Tarot. I know, I haven't been here for a few days, but everything happens at a certain time, a certain reason, and if I have found, and you find this with other readers too, that sometimes you just keep getting the same message over and over, and then you feel like it's time to take a break because that is what Spirit wants you to hear and wants you, you who are viewing, wants you to hear and like that. Also, I've been really, really busy with my garden. And the seasons are, this season of spring, summer, fall, as 3 seasons that equal the amount of time of winter. So, as soon as the snow's gone, we've got to really squeeze a lot of stuff, into our lives. And including, especially in this COVID time, a lot of us are planting. I'm very lucky where we live. We live in northern Saskatchewan. And my son is a hunter. So we don't need to worry too much about food as long as I have a garden. But, with COVID and shortages and people hoarding, it's extra important to kind of look after your own needs. And speaking of looking after your own needs and being self-sufficient and not depending on others for your survival and your welfare, this is kind of what we're getting today already from the Oracle deck. I went with Earth Magic today. Stephen D. Farmer. They're cards from Hay House, which I use a lot because I love Hay House. So what we got was a really interesting, I have a real headache this morning. Full moon tonight for us. Some of you may have just woken up from a full moon. So really a lot of powerful energy. It's a strawberry moon. But the Oracle cards gave us tree, rain, dance, and spring equinox. So the Oracle cards have told us that this is a time of grounding for us. That we have been through a period of feeling uprooted. And this is happening just not just our personal lives, but we have a pandemic going on. There is a lot going on politically and socially in the world. A lot of us are having our beliefs challenged. Within quarantines, a lot of us are having our relationships challenged. A lot of us are having our own beliefs challenged, our own life decisions challenged. And so Spirit is telling us that we are really going through a time where, because we have been so busy, we've made ourselves so busy, and we have separated ourselves from what is actually real so vehemently and so strongly, and so many of our children have disconnected from the world, and they live in video games and TV and social media. And well, some of that, there's nothing wrong with it. My kid loves his video games, and during this time, pandemic time, it's his only contact with his friends. But in equal measure, you need to make sure that you and your children and everybody, that you go breathe fresh air, right? That you create things, even if you're stuck inside, that you can still paint and draw and write poetry and journal your thoughts and come to some conclusions about who you are at this point in your life. And then with that comes rain, which we're expecting a lot of this week, which is purification. So you've done the grounding, you're doing the work, you're letting You're reminding yourself of the good things. I'm just going to see what's in your life or in this book. You're reminding yourself of the good things in your life. Purifying your mind by identifying a prominent belief you carry about yourself that inhibits you from being fully engaged in your life, from showing up 100% of the time. Purify your heart by allowing yourself to breathe in and out blessings and forgiveness so that you can love even more deeply. Let yourself feel your grief, truly feel it, so that the rivers of your tears become miniature baptisms that help to heal the wounds of your soul. If necessary, detoxify your body, blah, blah, blah. But, after this grounding and after this time of finding connection to what's real and true, for many of us, I went through this a couple of years ago, many of us in that time look at our life decisions and maybe that we've wasted time or we've wasted years, months, days, whatever we've wasted. And that's really, when you look at the core of it, there's nobody's fault but our own, ultimately. And of course, there's outside circumstances, of course. And of course, if you spent years in a bad relationship, it's easier to just work or to just, there's that frog in hot water thing. And people don't understand what it's like. People say, well, why don't you just leave? But in that, if you're able to ground yourself and get out of that, don't be afraid to face the rain. Your own self-blame, your own regret is a terrible thing. But after regret, after this detoxification and purification, after we've allowed ourselves to just sit down, in our room and just bawl. I mean, there's nothing like a good, ugly cry, right? And to just, okay, this has happened. But God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will make up those years for you if you make the changes you need to now. And in that, after a good cry, and we all know this, men, women, whatever, we know this, that after a good, snotty, red eye, hiccuping, gagging cry, we always feel cathartic, right? We always feel wonderful. And then that's the time in our life to celebrate. We've made a transition, is what Spirit is saying. To celebrate. Not everybody is able to make a transition. Not everybody is able to do this. But I don't have a huge amount of viewers. I don't have a huge amount of subscribers. So if you're drawn here, these are for you. From the entire collective of the YouTube world. It's time to celebrate. And, kitchen dancing. There's nothing better than putting on your best tunes and kitchen dancing in your PJs or whatever, right? Because now it's a time of rebirth. This one I am going to read the message because it's really a beautiful message. Okay? Plus, keep in mind that it's a full moon tonight, so a new, right? You thought this passage of time that you have been through would never end. Just as certain that the light of the world fades every few months and makes its return, hence the lunar cycle, right? Full moon tonight. It makes its return and the earth rejoices. The fresh breath of spring sweeps away the cobwebs acquired from the absence of the light. The light is now obviously increasing as nature begins to emerge in all her many forms, shapes, and colors that remind us of the continual cycle of Mother Earth. The cycle of rebirth you are experiencing follows a considerably challenging time, as we have just discussed. Any tears that you have shed, the snotty, ugly tears, have cleared the way for what is now, sorry. Any tears that you may have shed have cleared the way for what is being gestated, which is now ripe and ready to emerge. That which no longer serves you needs to be put to rest so that freshness and newness of spirit can make itself known to you. Sometimes birth can be painful. In fact, like usually, hello, right? Particularly in that passage just before delivery. Yet what emerges can be fresh and beautiful. Be with the emergence of this next cycle in faith and grace. So let's not be surprised if we get a Wheel of Fortune card. I feel so sleepy this morning. And I think spirits are right here with me because suddenly I'm really, really cold. Also, my cat, Courtney, you've seen her on videos before, my little white kitty, has a friend, Myrtle, who's a crow. And they hang out together all day and they talk back and forth to each other. And they really had a good thing going on today. And they were in the driveway on the lawn and they were hanging out with each other and they were talking to each other, this white cat and this little crow. So I haven't used this for a little bit, but I love this deck. It's the Crow Tarot. And, you know, I'm Scandinavian, of Norwegian descent. Wow. So because I haven't used this deck for a little bit, I really, there's High Priestess on the bottom. That might be for me. Because I haven't used this deck for a little bit, I really, you know, laid them on the table and I swirled them around and really, you know, spent time with the cards. So interestingly, okay, I don't usually read reversals, but we get here for you that you have all these choices. What you're looking at is peace, right? So you're in a time of choices. Spirit just says to me, reviewing choices that you've made and thinking about choices that you didn't make and choices yet to come. And the Six of Swords, I got reversed. And because I don't do reversals very much, I'm just going to look this up. Okay. Well, this is telling me, I mean, that you're still reluctant to let go of change. Or to let go. Like, it's hard for you to accept change. So even though we think we're making, even though we think we're making change, we need to really look at some of these areas. It's like, okay, where have I been reluctant to make changes and why? Okay? Because here we got a bunch of choices. But to have these choices acceptable to us, accessible to us, we need to be a different person. We need to make changes. We need to close some doors, open others. Okay? All right. What else have we got for messages for the collective today? Holy smoke. Those just flip themselves right over. And I'm going to take them because they came out as soon as they said, what messages do we have for the collective today? All right. So, yeah. Right? Okay, so yeah, we've got the Four of Swords. Interesting. So it's like you've got three swords like on the wall. That you're really thinking about these swords, whether they're mistakes, people in your lives. Spirit just said to me, for some of you, like the family you were brought up in, your love life and your career. But there's a fourth sword here. But this crow needs to take a rest before picking up this sword. Also, this sword is a broader sword. It's a bigger sword. It's a different sword than the one. See, there's those ones hanging on the wall. And then there's this sword that he's laying on. It's a bigger sword. But this crow needs to rest before he can pick up that sword. Spirit just says, take a look at the book. Spirit's getting kind of bossy lately. Yeah, before facing any more tasks, he needs to take a wellness break. So this is a card to remind you to take time out to recharge your spirit and your mind. Which is followed by the Hermit card. Okay. I don't know why they're telling me to go to the book so much. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the Hermit card is a time of, reflecting and being by yourself to make everything quiet. For a lot of us, the Hermit time in our life was forced upon us. I mean, not me at all, because we're in quarantine in a small community. I have my kid here. But this card, they want me to remind you that whatever you've been through, even if it's been awful and painful and abusive and embarrassing, that it's not for nothing. And that you will use the lessons that you've learned in that part of your life to help others. The Spirit just said to show your children. So maybe part of what you are worried about is that you've raised your children up with you being weak, or seeing you making mistakes, or whatever. But as we raise children, they will also make mistakes. So if we model to them that we've made mistakes, but that we can stop, pause, look back, reflect, and make changes, what a great thing to model for the young people coming up. Not to make excuses. Sometimes there's reasons. If you're in an abusive relationship, it's hard to leave because that person has broken you down so much, or because you're afraid. But people do, right? And what a great thing to model. So it's like, this is like an overall story, because it's time to rest and reflect on your own, right? As much as you can. Because you're going to start a new phase of your life. Maybe even a new career. Maybe you're going to start learning new things. Not about yourself necessarily, but like maybe learn new skills. It's a bright new day, because then there's the sun. The sun is masculine energy. This horse is looking very cranky, though. I'm going to look this one up, too, because it's an interesting sun card. I mean, we have horses. This is implying, though, that they've come on a journey, right? That there's all this stuff coming here. And they're here. They're a little bit tired, though, but they finally made it. Valhalla. To Valhalla. To, yeah, like, yeah, so you're starting fresh after this time of reflection, right? Seasons change. And the crow is comes to you with a message that luck is on your side and you will soon feel the brightness and warmth of the sun on your face. Bask in all the potential that is entering your life at this time and allowing this energy to raise your frequency. So, I mean, this is still really, really in line with the oracle cards. Okay, can we get some clarification on the Page of Pentacles? And there's a Knight of Cups. So, also with the White Horse. And you know, that White Horse is that the only two cards that shows up? I'm just going to just quickly check there. I think these are the only two cards with that White Horse. No, there's another one. That comes out too, then we're going to, yeah. I'm pretty sure. That White Horse doesn't show up very often. Like a knight in shining armor coming in on a white stallion, right? There's another one. Okay, so there's a few, but not a lot. So we've got two. Knight of Cups coming in. So somebody's coming in. Maybe a masculine wanting to make an offer to you. Also, you know, walking in. Okay. Can we get some clarification then on this Ace of Cups on the bottom? We get some oh, jeez. Ace of Cups on the bottom and an Ace of Pentacles pops out. Can we get some clarification on the Knight of Cups? And out comes Ace of Pentacles. That we had a Page of Pentacles before. I'm wondering if this fellow see, because the Crow deck is quite a bit different. This could be somebody coming in for you. Because I had to double check because Spirit said that this Knight of Cups might be actually your energy. Of, you know, yes. Of, Knight of Cups is your energy of looking for creative, I'm just going to look this up again, of creative solutions, of, you know, sorry. This is a dreamy bird who can quickly sweep you off your feet. However, there's a tendency for this knight in shining armor to get wrapped up in dreams. He is often unable to follow through with his plans. The Knight of Cups may enter your life as a creative thinker who will help you with a project. He may appear in your dreams or thoughts as ideas that pop in your head. Pay attention to the message. So, what this is saying to me is, like, it could be masculine coming in to make an offer, but really what it's saying to me is that you want to start something fresh, you know, that you're going to start something new, that you've done all this work and self-reflection and meditation and purification. You've grounded yourself. You're celebrating. And now you're getting intuition, inspiration. Right? But this card is saying to you, sometimes, especially if you come from an abusive situation or a situation where you've always had your ideas, like that you've always been told you're stupid, or like that's ridiculous, that this is an idea, that this is something coming to you that is good, and to not, like, if you dream it, or if it comes into your head as a sudden, like, hey, you know what, I always wanted to do this. And then, somebody says, oh, well, that's dumb or whatever. And it's like, yeah, don't do that. Because if you follow through, we have an Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning. It's fortuitous. It brings together all the elements of your life. Because remember what a Pentacles actually is. Like some people say, oh, it's a sign of the devil. But it's not. It is fire, water, earth, wind, and spirit. So this is the beginning of your cycle of bringing, finally, I just felt the need to take a deep breath, finally, to bring everything together. And you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, my channel, maybe I'll never get hundreds of thousands of views. And that's fine with me. I mean, I'm really not doing it for anything other than because Spirit told me to. And because it's small, I feel like the people that I'm talking to more directly, quite frankly. And I notice, like the tarot readers that are really popular are always talking about the karmic. Or they're always talking about, oh, you've got something coming in, like you've got this man coming in, or you've got this woman coming in, oh my God, and it's all this, and that's all well and good, and that's really nice, and that's true, often. I mean, a lot of my readings have been that. But, this reading will maybe get like 10 views, because I won't title it about something like your emperor is coming in, or karmic is evil. Because I think that this reading is about you. And not about what other people bring to you. It's about what the universe is bringing to you. And about how to be your best self. It's funny, we live in a town, it's a farming town. You can probably hear it. Where there's farm equipment that just drives through town. So there's a tractor going by. So, this is a really beautiful reading, because how can you bring in something amazing if you have, if you haven't done the work, if you haven't, like attracts like, okay? I mean, spirits are just giving me so many messages, but this is, like attracts like. Spirit just drew my attention to the Viking deck. Yep. Okay. So you need to let that old life die, so that you can rise up from the ashes. This is kind of, Spirit's just telling me that you're going to, I mean, which is normal, to vacillate between, to go back to your weakness. But you can let that die. And that old part of you, let that die. What else have you got to tell us from this deck, Spirit? I'm just looking at my time. What else have you got to tell us, Spirit? That wasn't anything. That was just me being clumsy. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more, and if I don't get something from this deck, I'm going to go to that Vikings, because they drew my attention. 1. There's 1, 2. And the Ace of Swords. So you need to get control of your thinking so you can rise above. Notice that grows. Okay. No, definitely. Okay, now recognize too that my hands are falling asleep. Okay. Oops. Also, it's kind of interesting that they had to go to the Viking deck because the Viking mythology and crows/ravens is very strong. My hands are completely asleep. Magicians on the bottom. Okay. So what have we got in the near future? In our time of rebirth. Rebirth, right? Rebirth. Spring comes after winter when everything's died. Death and resurrection. Oh. These chalices on the bottom. Okay, what have we got to look forward to? Like, what's our final messages for those that are watching this? From my friends. The Hermit again. The Magician. The Moon. Queen of Chalices. They told me to keep going. Six of Chalices on the bottom. I mean, a lot of my readings, I get the Six of Cups. So there's the second Knight of Cups. So this isn't a divine masculine. This isn't a divine feminine. It's none of those catchphrases. Yep, new beginnings. New beginnings. Like, so, okay, so we're just getting confirmation. There might be... So this isn't about romance. This isn't about jobs. This isn't about, anything specifically. This is about you. Okay? I mean, this is really a great reading, but we need to do the work. And by we, I mean me as well. We all have things that we need to stop and look at. And it's like, okay, if my life isn't going in the direction that I want, why? Is it just because everybody's mean and that you're outward focused? Because Spirit, in my readings to you, whether there's only one person that even watches this, and that's really powerful, then you know that this is meant for you. That Spirit right now doesn't want us to be outward focused. We need to look at what's going on with us, so that we can be the best versions of ourselves possible. So if we're the best versions of ourselves possible, we won't accept anything that isn't good for us. Okay? Including relationships, including jobs, including family that is just abusive, and just say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. Done like dinner. When you go to a nice restaurant, we were taught this anyway, that when you're finished, you put your knife and your fork like on the top of the table or on the top of the plate. Done. Okay? So ground yourself. Find this time of purification. Do the snotty cry. Right? Cleanse yourself. And then just celebrate yourself. It's like, I made it. Okay, I made some mistakes. But you know what? I recognize those mistakes and I'm learning from these mistakes. I hopefully will be able to use these mistakes to help other people. But right now, I'm learning from these mistakes. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to listen to some, wise people. There's a lot of wise people out there, a lot of wise books. The Spirit will attract you to what you need for you. I will quit looking for what I need outside of myself and create what I need inside of myself. Because then I'm not dependent. Then I'm not a victim anymore. I'm a victor. Right? I'm a victor. Because I'm coming from a place of weakness or a place that I've been broken down, I need to recognize that about myself. We all have weaknesses, so I need to recognize that my weakness is low self-esteem, or that it's easier, that sometimes we find it just easier to go with the flow. When this is like, you got ideas or inspirations that might be coming to you that maybe aren't what would be immediately popular. But you can tell, whatever you think of Bill Gates, when he was inventing the computer that we all use today, and Word, or Windows and Word, and like all this stuff that we just take for granted. Like, if you haven't, like, take a look at the history of that. Because do you think that when he was doing that, anybody told him to keep on going? Do you think that he didn't get discouragement? Because what a radical idea. Or when they say we're going to put a man on the moon. How retarded. Like, how ridiculous. And I don't mean retarded as an insult. I mean, like, how slow. How slow. Let's put the throttle on that. And there's so many people in this world, and I think the people that I'm talking to are people that have always had a gift. But they've been surrounded by people, or they've allowed people in their lives to throttle them. Right? Throttle them. It means kill the engine. Kill the engine. Even on a lawnmower, that's because it's throttling down. You can't, like, you see somebody trying to push your throttle down, you just, like, no, get it, go. Okay? So, that's my reading for today. I hope that if these inspire you, even one of you. If it's even inspires one other person, it's totally worth it. Right? So, have a most wonderful day. Happy full moon. Oh, there's my Courtney. Hi. There's my Courtney. She come to say hi. All right. Every blessing. Bye.